Hello out there. Welcome to our episode today. My name is Gabriel Oke, your regular host. And on behalf of the Medics in Tech team, where we kind of create content and organize various e-learning programs to make you a better person in health tech, transition into health tech, get mentors in health tech, I welcome you to this episode. So regularly on this podcast, what we do is we interview people that are working in tech already, either founders, professionals, or innovators, who have been in the game for a while. So they share their experience and they kind of give us hints and insights on how we can create a good career in health tech. And also sometimes you just create some news, we tell you things that are happening in health tech and just enjoy the moment of things happening around us, AI, digital tech, machine learning, and the likes in health tech, basically trying to understand how tech is impacting health around us because we can't do without tech again in healthcare. I think fintech has shown that yes, finance cannot do without tech, and I think health is catching up enough. So now today we have Dr. Joy. I'm sorry, I don't know if I don't know if that's the best way to pronounce it, but I'll wait for you to pronounce it yourself. Dr. Joy, yeah. So I have Dr. Joy with me. She's a medical doctor, background in medical medicine, foundation in leadership, communication, public health. So she has experience in digital health, AI in healthcare, NCD management, and then she's working in the media for a while, and then I can see that she has had several appearances on BBC, Arise TV, Channels TV to discuss about health. She's a founder as well of my Doctor Paddy, a startup, and just a lot. I will leave you to introduce yourself briefly before we get into the question. So I'll meet you, Dr. Joy, and then tell us your surname as well. Sorry.
Thank you very much for having me. My surname is a mouthful, so I can understand. So it's pronounced as Ifo Wokan. Some of the consonants are silent, so Dr. Joy is totally fine. I've actually not one of those people that are very particular about their surname. It's great to be here. I feel very honored and privileged to talk about myself and my background. Largely, my name is okay. Not my name. The work that I do is really around providing innovative solutions to health challenges, and this has kind of taken expression in different job descriptions. So initially, health communications and marketing, and the goal was just to boost health literacy. Then project management and health operations, really boosting or upskilling the workforce, administrative workforce of health organizations. And then most recently, really focusing on data science and clinical informatics. So that's really me and like the bulk or the spectrum of my professional background.
Okay, nice. So you have a background in medicine, and on this community, in this our community rather, we have a lot of doctors, medical students, um, NYC doctors, people doing their housemanship, people just trying to pick up some tech courses and all that. So for you, how did it start? How did you get into, okay, I'm a doctor, but I want to do other things, and you're able to manage everything together, intercept your medicine into every other thing. So kind of let's understand the thinking behind your experience so far.
It actually started in medical school. So for me, I think my transition to non-clinical medicine, it wasn't an afterthought or something I was like after medicine, after medical school, I kind of figured that I always knew, which is weird from day one, that I most likely won't practice full time. And this doesn't mean I will be alienated from the practice, but I just understood my strengths very early in my academic journey. And so it was where does the problem lie and how do we solve this problem? So there's this thing called the iceberg phenomenon. I learned about it in kind of 200 level. So it's basically conceptualizing the fact that the number of patients or the people we see in the clinic is just a little tiny bit of fraction of people who are actually struggling with that disease or with that condition in the population. So if you think about a mountain submerged in a sea and you just see that tiny part above the sea, those are the number of people we see in our clinics and our hospital. And then we have this large population behind or beneath the sea that are not receiving any services that they needed. So for me, I just simply said there is a major problem that stops people from accessing healthcare. There are problems that they face when they access healthcare, and then there are problems that they then face after accessing healthcare. Is it possible to position myself in a way that I can solve all of this? I can identify these barriers and then solve all of these barriers. And that was really my why. So it started with, some form of public health awareness, health literacy, health content creation, then working in like full end marketing positions, leading marketing teams, so specifically in health. And then that evolved to some form of, leveraging technology. So my own health startup, working with other health startups, some form of consultancy, leveraging digital tools, and then now really just churning in this trend where we see that AI is literally transforming health services, and trying to see how can healthcare professionals, how can doctors position themselves in this trend so that they can directly apply all of these transformations to health. So that really was my why and how I've able to like navigate the trend throughout the last few years.
Okay, that's very interesting. I like the fact that you mentioned your startup as well. So I think the next question will be: Is it important for everyone to be a founder? Like, should everyone be a founder? And for you, what's the USP of your organization? Like, why did you set it up? So that, because one thing we also try to do on this podcast is at least we make it possible that you can also reuse the content. Let's say you want to share on your socials and all that. So what's the USP? Why do you think, oh, instead of joining another person to do something or working for someone on this, I think I want to be a founder? And then what's the USP? What do you exactly do and why we should come and maybe partner with you or work with you and all?
Okay, so number one, no, everybody should not be a founder. It's like saying everybody should be a doctor, everybody should be a nurse. There's no singularity in our pursuit of success. People who, or a world in which problems are solved is not a world in which everyone did the same thing. It's a world in which everyone understood their strengths and then maximize their strengths to solve problems. So no, everyone shouldn't be a founder. Two, I'm actually not particular. So I have taken so for the last 18 months or so, like we have taken like a major 1, 2, 3 step backwards to really one, on research, two, to really make sure that we have a very solid why of the product and our service offering. So we haven't put out so much content, and I'm very particular about things that I build because I'm not in a hurry, first of all, to build anything or to put out a product because everybody's putting out a product. I rather use 10 years to build a product I know would actually solve problems, to build a product I know I already have a target audience for, I already have a customer base for who are already paying for that service, but more especially to build a product that is scalable and that's long term, because that's a major pitfall or a major challenge of most health tech startups. So the USP, the focus of my Paddy Doctor is really providing continuity of care of people living with non-communicable diseases. So how did it start? I lost my dad in the pandemic 2020 to a hypertensive emergency. So he had struggled with hypertension and diabetes through most of his life.
I'm sorry about that.
Sorry. Oh,
Just
yeah.
sorry about
Thank you.
that.
Thank you. And then, like all patients or most patients living with hypertension and diabetes, there's always a story where one uncle, one auntie, or one father or mother were taking their medications, then they stop taking their medications, then they stop going for their appointments, and they have that spike when they start falling ill, and then they run back to the hospital. All of their vitals are deranged, and then they start the medications again. So I said to myself, there's a problem with continuity of care. And this is because this is a chronic disease. Nobody wants to take medications and go to the hospital for the rest of their life. But because it's a chronic disease, they have to. So how do we build structures that will ensure that these people can, quote and unquote, comfortably live with this disease, manage it properly, and live a quote unquote again a normal life. And that's what my Dr. Paddy is trying to solve. So four major parts is the part of, first of all, health literacy. If you ask the average Nigerian, I mean, current statistics is putting it at over 10 diseases, and they are aware. A huge part of those 30 million have diseases and they are not aware. So they're just moving and vibing around Nigeria and they don't know they have this disease. Even people who have been diagnosed don't have a clear understanding of what the disease is about. So there's a part of health literacy, but very simplified health literacy where they are able to access knowledge about the disease. Two is the part of screening. Hypertension, diabetes, most of these chronic diseases are no longer diseases of the elderly. In fact, it is now a reverse converse. And I'm talking about data not just from Nigeria, but from most African countries. We see that people in their 20s, people in their 30s, people in their 40s are now the bulk of people coming down with hypertension and diabetes. And it is annoying because most of these things can be monitored. So if you know what your blood pressure is today, you know what your blood pressure has been for the last 1 month. Once you notice a change or a deviation, you know something is wrong and you seek for help. But most Nigerians do not have a screening culture. We are reactive to health. We are not proactive. So another goal of the application is to ensure that people have something called a vital or symptoms checker where they are able to monitor their vitals, impute their values into this app and have some form of personalized database where they have a chart that shows their blood pressure for the last 3 months, for the last 6 months, for the last 1 year. And once there's a deviation, they are able to know something is going on here and then seek for help, which is the other part that has to do with teleconsultation and telemedicine. We already do not have enough doctors. So the best way to ensure that we keep having access to specialists is to maximize technology. And the last part of it has to do with the part of emergency service, which was a major deterrent that my father faced was, it was the pandemic, there was no movement, there were no ambulances. And I mean, when it comes to hypertensive and hyperglycemic emergencies, time is money, time is life, expenses. So those few seconds where they are able to assess, I mean, in civilized countries, getting an ambulance is like calling an Uber and you press 911. We don't have that in Nigeria. So are we able to operationally come up with a logistics system to solve that? So that's really what the app is and what we're trying to build. It's very elaborate. I do not mind collaborating with other people building the same thing, which is what I've been doing for like the last 3 years, consulting with health tech startup. I am happy to take my time as long as it takes, but to build something that will last through the test of time.
Okay, so let's go skill based now. So can you kind of highlight some of the skills? So I can see consulting, like the project management, which we use in tech, and then communication as well. Can you kind of give us some of the tech skills you think you have and how you got them, and your advice to people wanting to, who want to do things like that? Because the skills has to be there. Like you can't just have the desire and just run with it. So the skills you have, people I consider, especially the project management, even before you started your organization, before you get out there. I think you work with Johan as a project program manager. So those kind of skills that are useful, to combine with medicine and coming to tech. Yeah.
Okay, so I have two ways. This is very personal for me. So I learn from I'm very pencil and paper kind of person. If I want to learn something, I will literally go find a very detailed course, sit down and read and learn and judge. So I had a very intense learning curve. And this is because I came from a strictly clinical background. I didn't understand what agile and scrum and all of those highfalutin things were. So I really took a lot of time, especially during my house job, which is weird because house job is when people are dying of work. And it was intense. It wasn't like my house job wasn't intense. But I know that those 2 years were very intense learning experiences for me. So I don't think there's literally any popular course that I didn't take. So courses from Google, Microsoft, Coursera, Allison, just think of all of them. There are so many free resources down the internet. So many times when people say, I want to learn this, I don't know where to start from. I'm like, you have Google, go and Google it, you see it there. So I learned a lot. I can't even count. And this is just me being very honest, how many courses I've had to take. I also leveraged on boot camps. So hackathons, boot camps, where what you have learned, you then get to practicalize it. So I took a lot of that. I think I was in like three, two of them during house job, and then one after house job. That one, it was a hack. I know it was done by VFD Bank and Women in Products. So I had this times where I actually moved between project management and products management. So an entire book, I think it was about 4 months, where I was like in a boot camp where we actually worked on real life projects, specifically just honing product management skills. Then there's the part of actually working on life projects. So I had friends who had startups, specifically in fintech and edutech, and I told them, okay, please, can I work with your company for the next 3 months, for the next 6 months, and actually get to work on projects and just practicalize my skills. So it was a combination of things. My advice is really just open yourself up to a lot of learning. You will not understand a lot of things you're reading, but there is intent, and it's a continuous thing, because even up to now, I am still on, Discord channels, Slack channels, Telegram newsletters, or Telegram networks where it's very technical focus, and I'm very keen on like technical skills. Like it's very technical project management skills where you're learning like things that are happening today in the industry. So that's really my advice for anyone seeking to like hone those skills.
Okay, thank you so much. I think an aspect of your career that we've not talked about is the communication. I don't think we've explored that very well. So can you give us a glimpse into what that is about? You write blogs, you create content as well. So how is it like for you? How do you manage to do that? And then how did you even come into that? Was it that you started, creating content while you were still a student? Like, let's understand so that students listening, undergraduate, professionals, any career professional who wants to do this thing. I mean, I know content is a long-term game, even on the old blogging, so you have to be on it for a long time and get better. So they know where to start and how long to even expect themselves to be an expert.
Okay, so I have always been a very eloquent individual. And this is, so there's the part of learning or improving an inherent gift. I think I have tried to build on both. So, as a child, I've always been someone who was outspoken, who could really just play around word and sound very important or serious. So there's that part. But I've had to deliberately hone that skill in communication. So, because again, most of this started in medical school, I involved in a lot of storytelling of my journey in medical school. So I was literally in leadership position throughout my 6 years in medical school. So I was always documenting my journey. When I organize an outreach, go to a community, I will go that time on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and I will basically just document it like a case study. Oh, we found this community, we decided to do this, and just give a glimpse. So there was that part of storytelling. So consciously and unconsciously, I started becoming someone who was registered in the minds of other doctors, other organizations, this person is somewhat of a storyteller. This person is someone who is a good writer. Then in the pandemic, two persons. One, you probably know Dr. Chioma Wakama, Dr. Zobo, and Nonso Ekamba, Dr. Aproko. They were two people who I admired greatly in the industry. And I know I had reached out. You know how you know this person on the timeline and you're retweeting their thing and they know you and that kind of thing. So during the pandemic, Dr. Zobo had reached out and another part was debating. I was very good in debating in medical school, and she had come as a judge on a panel and I was debating and then I won. So there was that physical contact where she know, oh, this girl has a way with words. So she was doing an internship in the pandemic, and then she had reached out and said, oh, I'm putting out an application for people who want to make a transition into health communication. If this is something you're interested in, apply. And I ran. That I can't remember. I ran and wrote my resume and everything. And I think it was like over 50 something people, and she selected 3 people. And I was one of those persons. So my first exposure to health communication was working closely with someone who was established in health communications. She had an entire brand, had an entire structure. So that was my first actual job, paid job in a way. So I got to write blogs, got to write articles, social media posts, graphic. I did everything, Canva, graphic design. I did hot style, yeah. But it was such a great experience. It's impossible to talk about my journey and not talk about Dr. Choma and Dr. Zobo. So there was that part. And then house job was when I and Nonto got really close. So I mean his entire brand just really providing some form of overseeing for all of it, what he does, and also the 100K club, which is his NGO outreaches and all of that. So those two people played a very key role in my communications journey. But then personally, I had to hone that skill. So I continued putting out content. I had a content creator phase. I didn't do so much. Again, I think the fact that I had become a name in the industry, it was easy for brands to, and I say it with all sense of humility, I have never had to apply for a health communications roles. Most of the time, they just say, oh, this person said you did this for their brand. Can you do this for my brand as well? And that's really it. I've had to recently sit down, I even make a portfolio. Like, I have to be professional. I mean, I have to have a portfolio. And I'm so grateful for that, which is why I tell people, build in public goal. If you are doing this, go out, go to LinkedIn and say, this is what I'm doing. No, everybody should come and hear. So when people ask me about my journey, it's hard to say. I can't remember distinctively taking certain courses in communications. It was after I had certain jobs, I had to go and learn things. Another thing I think helped me was just I can move from novice to mastery in like 5 seconds. Like you tell me, oh, I want a content. I remember my first content calendar for an oncology brand. They were like, oh, we want a 1 month content calendar. We'll pay you so and so amount. In like 3 hours, I went, what is a content calendar? What's this? And I just did the entire thing and designed it again because I had that experience actually working because it was a high intense environment. We were creating content on the go. We were writing blogs. I mean, it was pandemic. Everybody was at home. Content had to be going on the hour and the hour. So I had learned that thing to just take a trending topic and literally make an entire blog post or literally make an entire Canvas template. So that really helped me a lot. Now the market is very competitive. I mean, algorithm is I don't even know what's happening there. Me, most of the time, what I do in communications now is more of consultancy. So brands come to me and say, oh, we want to start a blog or we want to start an e-learning platform or we want to start some form of medical programs. Can you come on board and just guide or train our internal teams? So I don't have like maybe a social media. I can't even advise people on algorithm. My hand is not there. It's not really my strength, but I mean, it's not something that can't be learned. And I advise everyone to actually learn those skills technically.
I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot. But let's take this as the last question. If your mentees are to listen to this, if people that are looking up to you, people that are maybe they're mentees, and maybe you have a lot of people that are trying to reach out to you, mentor me this, mentor me that, and like, and there's so much, and you wish there's a video that you can record and send to them. Okay, watch this video. If you can listen to this 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes insight that I drop here, it will at least help you. What would be the flow of your thoughts on that?
So two things. I think the first thing is to understand your why and what is it you want for your career. So I get a lot of people say, oh, I want you to mentor me. I want you to teach me what you're doing. And I'm like, so what do you want to do? Where do you see yourself? Not even like where do you see yourself in? What's that one thing that is the centerpiece of your career out of which every other thing grows? And they can't answer that question. So I think that's the first point. I don't want so many people are running now. Oh, AI, because I recently did an article about like my career transition into clinical informatics, and I've got a lot of questions. Oh, I'm very interested in AI. Oh, I want to do AI. Oh, and I'm like, why do you want to do it? Is it because it's a buzzword and it's trending, or you want to be one of the people that will pay you? Because it's hard work. I tell everyone my last 3-4 years of working in I'll call it corporate clinical services has been more intense than my one. I thought house job was hell. This is hell. I'm awake Monday. There's no 9 to 5, 3 a.m. It's more intense and it's more demanding and it's exhausting. There's this perception that non-clinical medicine is easier. It's not easier. It's way harder because we are now dealing with other factors that determine the success of health. So I think the most important thing you want to do for yourself is to ask yourself why. the next thing you want to do is learning. So there's this lackadaisical attitude I see among health professionals. You just feel like because I'm a doctor, because I'm a nurse, I know how to do this, or I know how to do project management because I manage my team. It's an entirely different ball game. So invest before you even look for a mentor, invest in technical know-how because that's the currency of that world. It's not like medicine that, oh, if you know kids more, if you know your medical stuff, you know how to settle and you're good to go. That's not what happens in this outside world. Here is you have proof of work. Where's your substance? Where's your code? Is it working or is it not working? Is it have you deployed it or have you not deployed it? So it's an evidence-based world. So you have to have that technical skills. Then the last part of it is collaboration. I have, and I'm so grateful. I feel like my career path went from like here and then there was this spike, and everybody is seeing like the spike, and they just assume that, oh, I want to have this spike. And I feel, I mean, there's the grace of God and there's parts of God in all of it, but a major part of it has been because I have had the shoulder of a lot of people to literally stand on. And I say that again because a lot of people will come to me and simply say, oh, Nonso said you are very good at writing. Can you do this? Oh, my friend comes. Is that easy? Oh, I saw something you did for this brand. Can you do that for this brand? It's because I've had to one very open to collaboration. So today, if you call me and say, "Oh, my brand is in, do you want to come on?" I would attend. I don't have pride in this industry. I don't have this thing. I would attend. I would collaborate. I would partner. The sky is extremely big for all of us, more than ever. The barrier of entry, especially in data science and AI, like the barrier of entry is like, yeah, because you literally just have to know certain things, have certain projects you have worked on, and you're literally in the door. People who are, I mean, there are new designations every day. You hear things like chief of AI. I'm like, chief of AI. As per what are you doing there? AI operations, health AI project management. I'm just like, what are all these? People are literally making designations. So this is the time where you position yourself in a way that you can be absorbed into the system, because we have very few times in history where there's like this open gate. So if you don't enter now, the gate will close, and that's it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's my advice. I mean, talk to people. I mean, platforms like yours, where I mean, there's already a lot of people communicate. So there's ask for help, ask for help, and you'll be surprised. I mean, what's out there for you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think that will be the last question. And in fact, I learned a lot. I think you saying that there's the barrier is about the barrier that it's very easy to enter is so true, because now you literally, because a lot of people are not doing anything. I mean, let's put it that way. So when you now do just by even just doing the course, or maybe just learning something for 3 months, 4 months, you don't even know what can happen. Like you just be like, wow, you know this, you know that, you know this, you may not even know how to code or anything. Just understanding alone, the knowledge alone is a lot. You get to use it, maybe remote roles, can even add something, can have something you're doing beyond the weekend, even while you do your normal regular practice. Like it's so big, as you said, like it's so big, so big. Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity. It was nice talking to you. I enjoyed it, to be honest. And hopefully in the future we'll get to speak again. By then, probably will be owning your own. Maybe we'll be speaking maybe in Dubai. I don't know. Like you look like you're just everywhere. Yeah, good talking to you. Thank you
Thank you
so much.
very much. It's my pleasure. I enjoyed this thoroughly as well. And I hope, I mean, this is very beneficial to the
Thank you so much.
audience.
So bye.
All right, that's fine. Take
Yeah,
care.
bye. Thank you. Bye.